my name is Ryan Kim, and welcome back to the 1999 Project. And man, this is one of the more tricky ones that I've got to do this week because I'm talking about two movies, and these are rather one is a rather difficult movie to talk about, even though it's pretty famous, and another one is just kind of there, really. It, it's It's kind of weird to say because I'm looking ahead and the quality is pretty high for the rest of the year, but there's also some ones you're like, yeah, you have to address this at this point. So, uh, so without any further ado, let's get into it. Starting off with a pretty important film in the grand scheme of the 1999 project and the year 1999 in film in general. This is the movie that won the Best Picture at the Academy Awards in 1999. Yeah, that's the one you're thinking of. It's American Beauty. American Beauty was directed by Sam Mendes, the man who would go on to direct Road to Perdition, Skyfall, and 1917, and the movie starred Kevin Spacey,
He's an asshole.
along with Annette Bening and Chris Cooper and Wes Bentley. It tells the story of a man named Lester Burnham, played by Kevin Spacey, who has a midlife crisis and not only quits his job in a rather notable way, he ends up falling in love with his teenage high school with his neighbor who is a teenager in high school. Yeah, play the clip.
That one didn't age quite so well.
Buying his dream car, lifting weights with his gay neighbors in a garage while smoking weed.
I can eat more marijuana than anybody in the world.
Yes, really. And just midlife crisis stuff. This is one of the biggest cinematic question marks I've ever experienced. I'm not too big on the Oscars. I think that as an organization, they're not really. My fandom of movies doesn't really begin and end with their opinions on what the best pictures are. However, the discourse surrounding it can get overblown at times. They have gotten the best picture right on more than one occasion. However, this is just a strange choice for this movie of all movies to win Best Picture. I actually pulled it up on my iPad to look it up just to see what all movies were nominated that year. American Beauty won against movies like The Cider House Rules, The Green Mile, The Insider, and The Sixth Sense, which I've already covered as part of the project. And The Green Mile and The Insider I know are coming down the pike on the project. I have not seen The Green Mile in a minute, but I can confirm that The Green Mile is a much better movie than American Beauty. The movie technically looks and sounds very well. The acting is pretty solid across the board. Kevin Spacey, for all of his very obvious problems as a human being, has his moments of being very good here. Annette Bening is good. Chris Cooper is good. I mean, I'm a fan of Chris Cooper generally, so it's an easy sell for me. The problem is not the technical side. It's the content side that truly bothers me when it comes to this movie for a lot of reasons. And I'm not trying to concern troll. I'm not trying to be like, this didn't age well. This is problematic. I'm not trying to go out of my way to be like this. I shame on this movie. I'm not trying to do that. I understand this movie is 25 years old. Times were different back then. Standards were different back then. We didn't know in 99 what we know now. But man, this movie has aged like milk in a lot of ways, especially like even in a vacuum. Lester Burnham has sexual fantasies about a teenager in high school.
8-year-olds, dude.
Even if Kevin Spacey were the nicest man in the world, this character is just genuinely awful. I don't care. I don't want to hear theories about how this is some kind of thought experiment or whatever. No, we're watching a movie about a man going through a midlife crisis and becoming a pedophile.
8-year-olds, dude.
Annette Bening's character has an open affair and only breaks it off because the the guy in the relationship is like, I don't want a divorce, like cause a divorce or anything like that. There's nobody to root for. There's nobody to cheer for. You are just sat there watching these people destroy their lives because they're bored, I guess. Maybe I'm not old enough to understand why this movie works for some. I just have never understood it, and I don't think that I ever will. I know this is going to sound harsh, but it's my channel and it's my opinion, and I don't care. This movie's horrid. I understand that there are people that like this movie and will defend this movie, and I understand that, and I defend your right to have your opinion. But this movie is gross, no matter how you slice it. It just is pretentious. You're just watching it's like watching a slow motion train wreck, and there's no joy to be found anywhere. But with that out of the way, let's talk about a movie about some hockey. It's Mystery Alaska.
Mystery Alaska.
Mystery Alaska was directed by Jay Roach, the man who earlier in '99 directed Austin Powers: The Spy Who Shagged Me. Quite a range, and the movie starred Russell Crowe and Hank Azaria. It tells the story of a small town in Alaska called Mystery. It's about 650-ish people. It's like a small town, and kind of similar to Hickory, Indiana, and the movie Hoosiers, super underrated basketball movie. Go check it out if you haven't. The town's big thing is ice hockey. Everybody skates, everybody plays hockey, and whoever plays in the quote Saturday game is delegated upon by the city fathers and the mayor. It's a big deal in this place. Someone who was from the town but left was played by Hank Azaria. His name is Charlie. He goes there, he writes an article about mystery, but then he comes back with an offer from the New York Rangers, the NHL team, saying, "Hey, we the New York Rangers want to come down and play a pickup game here in Mystery, Alaska." And the movie chronicles the team practicing for the big game and all of the foibles of the townsfolk therein. I love a good sports movie, and Austin Powers: The Spy Who Shagged Me was a lot of fun. So I was expecting good things from this, and man, this was just a weird little watch. Um, the movie's not horrible, it's not just unwatchable. There are good moments here, but there is a good sports movie that is buried underneath 3 layers thick of just cringy comedy. I swear to God, I am not making this up. These are some of the plot points that happen in the movie. For example, about 25-ish minutes into the movie, one of the players is hazed, I guess, when it is revealed that he revealed some strategies to the opposing team, and as punishment, he was forced to dress up in either an athletic supporter or a thong. I don't have enough sanity in my brain to go and look up what the technical term for this thing is. But he's basically forced to skate in a circle, gain a lot of speed, and then fall on his butt and then slide on the ice butt first into the snow. And I did not laugh at that. This was played up for comedy because they take it so seriously that if you give away secrets, you're gonna have to like have a chapped ass. Then a couple scenes later, one of the characters is about to have sex with his girlfriend in a snowplow. Yes, really. They get their clothes off, they're about to do the deed. She brings out a condom, he puts it on, and well, let's just say the gun fires prematurely. I'm just gonna leave it at that. All of this to say that this movie could have been so much better if it were treated sincerely, because there are good things here. There's a subplot in which Russell Crowe's character is on the team but is taken off because he is deemed too old to play and hasn't scored a goal in a while, but is coaxed back onto the team because the team is in need. And Russell Crowe, predictably, is very good here. He's the best part of the movie. Burt Reynolds plays the local judge. That Burt Reynolds you're thinking of, Smoking the Bandit, Boogie Nights, that one. And he must have thought that he was in like 12 Angry Men or a courtroom drama because his performance is so serious that it's borderline laughable. Some of the lines he gives where you have let the morality of a hockey game cloud your judgment. I'm like, dude, it's a hockey movie. Like, what are we even doing here? He has a whole thing with his son where he doesn't want his son to play hockey, even though he played it in college. It just so weird. And if it were actually treated seriously, I think it would have gone somewhere, but it doesn't. Michael McKean from Better Call Saul shows up as a Price World representative. I don't know what that is. That's a 90s reference that went way over my head. But he's a traveling salesman. He gets shot in the foot by one of the players. He curses out the player and the town, calling it just the worst place ever. And there's a whole courtroom scene in which the Price World guy sues the town and basically just Michael McKean's character just completely falls apart on the stand and his argument just goes completely just kaput. I said to myself, yeah, that's not the first time a character played by Michael McKean has killed his credibility on the stand. And at certain points, I had to pinch myself and say to myself, this is supposed to be a sports movie. They're supposed to be playing hockey at some point. And there's discussion about like the New York Rangers filing a notion like an injunction with their union saying we don't want to go to Alaska on our off season. Fair enough, I guess. And then there's one where a reporter comes down to report on everything, and one of the players makes a really cringy dick joke. It just, oi, there are good things here. But man, you just have to hunt for them, and it's honestly not even worth the hunt. This movie is pretty forgettable. I'm not going horrid. I'm not going to give two horrids in one video like this. There are good things here, but man, this was just a tough watch to get through. Like, like it just, I got nothing. But what did you all think of any of the movies that I've talked about? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to read what you have to say, especially about American Beauty. I imagine there's going to be a lot of passionate thoughts about that one. But my name is Ryan Cam, and I will see you all in the next one.